Marhum Sayyid Sibt Jafar Zaidi, he was martyred on the 18th of March 2013 in Karachi. Marhum was serving in Harvard University. Harvard University presented him with an honorary award which he spent to help people selflessly. He started 7 colleges with around 6 million rupees and set up countless education centers. He looked after 5 welfare organizations, numerous charity trusts and orphanages, and fed hundreds daily. He ran a school in a village in which Muslims and Hindus would study for free, as they couldn't afford education. Marhum Sibt Jafar. He was the principal of a college in Liaqatbad where everyone admired him. He was a professor and a mentor. He was a grade 20 officer. He was a poet, an intellectual and philanthropist. He was known for his simplicity, everything he had, yet he traveled on a motorbike without any security. And most importantly, he was a devoted servant of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, a legendary Noha Khan, Marsia Khan, and Soz Khan. He was Ustad Professor Sayyid Sibt Jafar Zaidi Shaheed. The brutal killers could have killed your body, but you are alive in your words, which are immortal. May Allah raise your status in Jannah. There'll be a 3-minute clip, munajat of Marhum Sayyid Sibt Jafar Zaidi. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Salawat.
زندگی آ گئی زندگی بندگی روشنی آ گئی روشنی آ گئی آگہی آ گئی موت کے محبوں کو آتی نہیں آ بھی جائے تو پھر بچ کے جاتی نہیں موت کا کیا خطر موت سے کیا حذر اس سے بچنا بھی کیا آ گئی غسل میت نہ کہنا میرے غسل کو اجل ملبوس کو مت کفن نام دو غسل میت نہ کہنا میرے غسل کو اجل ملبوس کو مت کفن نام دو میں چلا ہوں علی سے ملاقات کو جس کی تھی آرزو وہ گھڑی آ گئی میں چلا ہوں علی سے ملاقات کو جس کی تھی آرزو وہ گھڑی آ گئی جبرائیل اور قمبر پہ کیا منحصر در تیرا چھوڑ کر کوئی جاتا نہیں جبرائیل اور قمبر پہ کیا منحصر در تیرا چھوڑ کر کوئی جاتا نہیں جو غلامی کا تیری مزہ پا گیا راس جس کو تیری نوکری آ گئی جس کا مولا تھا میں اس کا مولا دی جب نبی نے کہا دین کامل ہوا مرحبا مصطفیٰ رب بھی راضی ہوا وہ جو آنا تھی آیت وہی آ گئی عشق جب تک نہ ہو شعر ہوتا نہیں مجھ میں کب اہلیت تھی تیری مدح کی मेरे मौला मैं कुर्बान तेरे इश्क के सिफ्त जाफर को भी शायरी आ गई
من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين إنه خير ناصر ومعين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين سيدنا ونبينا وشفيع ذنوبنا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرضين بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وغاصب حقوقهم من الأولين والآخرين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وكلامه الكريم وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إني أنا ربك فاخلعن عليك إنك بالواد المقدس طوى آمنا بالله وصدق الله العلي العظيم صلوا على محمد وآل محمد When Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam invited his parents and his brothers to the land of Egypt, when he became the king of Egypt, and then he invited his parents to Egypt, and when Nabi Yaqub alayhi salam came over to Egypt with his family, with his sons, that at that time and before that time also, Yaqub alayhi salam was given the name of Israel. Israel in Hebrew means the servant of Allah or the slave of Allah. Thus, when he settled in Egypt with his family, with his children, the children of Yaqub alayhi salam were called Bani Israel. And we have got a surah in Quran Majid, which is called Surah Bani Israel, which is the 17th chapter of Quran Majid. These Bani Israel, they multiplied, they became a big number in Egypt. And when the royal astronomer alarmed Pharaoh, because after several years or after several centuries, after Yaqub passed away, after several centuries, a man came into power who was known as Pharaoh. Pharaoh, when he came to power, Pharaoh was alarmed and he was cautioned and warned by a royal astronomer that a boy is going to be born who is going to destroy your kingdom. Now Pharaoh was worried and scared to see the number of Bani Israel, of the offsprings and the descendants of Yaqub alayhi salam. He was worried. These all were the offsprings of Yaqub alayhi salam until the time of Musa alayhi salam. And Musa alayhi salam was born. When he was born, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to keep Musa. Now, Musa was born in an extremely dangerous environment, to that extent that the mother of Musa was worried. He was born, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired in the heart of the mother of Musa alayhi salam that this was an inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that فَأَوْهَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ Musa, we revealed to the mother of Musa that you don't worry, you take your son and you put him in a chest, this is Surah Taha, and let him float to the river bank until it will reach at the bank of the river, in River Nile. Let it go, and it will go, the chest will go to the enemy of his enemy and my enemy, that is Pharaoh. the enemy of Musa and the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let him go. And when the child was kept in the chest, it left. But the mother of Musa, after all, she was a mother. She had that mother's heart. She told her daughter, that is the sister of Musa, that you go and look after this chest. Where is it going? And just keep an eye on this chest. And the sister of Fir'aun went on keeping an eye on the chest. And what she witnesses, that the chest, the tabut, the word which Quran has used is tabut, that is the chest, the sanduk. It reached at the bank of the river, and the family of Fir'aun, that is the wife of Fir'aun, Asiya, when she picks this chest, she was attracted towards Musa, and when she shows the child to Fir'aun, and at that time also Fir'aun was of the same opinion, to slaughter Musa alayhi salam, to kill him, because this was his command. It was his general law, which was applicable to every child in Egypt, that all the baby boys should be killed. But when he was trying to implement this law, or this general law to Musa alayhi salam, Asiya said that, look, I'm childless. I want to adopt this child. Let me adopt this child. He agreed to his wife. And Asiya alayha salam, who was a pious lady, she adopted Musa until Musa grew in the palace of Fir'aun. A time came when a person from Bani Israel was fighting with the soldiers, with one of the, according to another tafsir, with the royal cook of Fir'aun. And when the person from Bani Israel, who was from the descendants of Yaqub alayhi salam, he shouted at Musa alayhi salam that, oh Musa, come and help me. And when Musa went to help this person from Bani Israel, and Musa gave a punch to the royal cook of Fir'aun. Now Musa did not intend to kill that person, but I don't know which kind of a blow it was. It was a coincidence that when Musa gave a blow and the royal cook of Fir'aun, on the spot he died. Now when he died, the spies were there of Fir'aun, and somebody, Mu'min al Fir'aun, which we don't have time to speak about, Mu'min al Fir'aun, who was staying in the palace of Fir'aun, he informed Musa alayhi salam that, oh Musa, you better fly from here and leave this town, leave Egypt as soon as possible. It is not safe for you, because you killed a person, you killed the royal cook of Fir'aun. And Musa flies, Musa leaves the town, Musa walks to, it takes him about 7 to 8 days, and he goes and he reaches to a place called Madian, according to Quran Majid. When he reaches to a place called Madian, there he meets Shu'aib alayhi salam, and he marries the daughter of Shu'aib alayhi salam, who was known as Safura. And Shu'aib alayhi salam says that, if you want to marry my daughter, then this is my condition, that you should work with me and graze my sheep for at least 8 years or more than that. History tells us that Musa stayed there for approximately 10 years. He married Safura. He was blessed with children, with a family in Madian. He lives there for 10 years. Then the time came that Musa leaves Madian. After 10 years, when Musa alayhi salam leaves Madian, on his way back, when he comes to a place, it was very cold, it was a cold night, it was the time of winter, that Musa was with his family, that all of a sudden, when Musa reaches, because it was extremely cold, Musa witnesses that in a particular green tree, there are flames of fire. When he sees the flames of fire, and he could hear a voice calling, Inni ana rabbuk, fakhla'na alayk, innaka bil wadil muqaddasi tuwa. These are the verses which I recited at the beginning of my talk. This is of Surah Taha, chapter 20, verse number 12. That he heard a voice calling, Inni, verily, ana rabbuk, I am your Lord. Innaka bil wadil muqaddasi tuwa, fakhla'na alayk. Remove your shoes, you have reached at a sacred valley of Tuwa. Tuwa is the lower part of Mount Sinai. You have reached at a sacred valley. Now when Musa reaches there to a sacred valley of Tuwa, he was commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Because when he goes near, he thought that there was fire, there were flames of fire, but that was nur. When he reaches there, he was told to remove the shoes. He removed his shoes. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands him that, O Musa, cast your staff to the Mount of Sinai. And when he casted his staff on the Mount of Sinai, that stick changed into serpent. Now this was the first mu'jiza of Musa alayhi salam. Although Quran tells us that Musa had 9 mu'jiza. From those 9 mu'jizas, in this majlis we'll mention only 2 mu'jizas of Musa. 2 miracles of Musa alayhi salam. The first miracle was that staff of his changed into serpent. And Musa alayhi salam got scared. When he was scared, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, La takhaf, do not be scared, O Musa. You lift the serpent. When Musa alayhi salam lifted the serpent, that serpent changed into stick again. The second mu'jiza of Musa alayhi salam in Mount Sinai was that he was commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that take your hand and put it inside your armpit. And then when he took out his hand from his armpit, the hand of Musa, the blessed hand of Musa, it was so bright, it was so glowing, to that extent that historians tell us that it was glowing like sun. This was the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which he gave to Musa, that he himself, he was amazed to see his blessed hand, the way it was glowing. And then, because he had his children with him, he had his family with him, he was also given the gift from his father-in-law, from Shu'aib, some sheep. So he was together with his sheep, with his cattle, with his family. Because when he saw the fire, he thought that let me go and take fire, because it is bitter cold, the weather is extremely cold. But when he reached near, it looked like, it seemed like flames of fire, but it was nur, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was attracting him, and he was commanding Musa that, O Musa, now you go to Fir'aun again. After showing him his mu'jiza, his miracles, now Allah is commanding him that go to Fir'aun again and invite him towards my oneness, towards my tawheed. Now when he was told by Allah, Fir'aun said, Rabbi shrah li sadri. Musa said, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. This is Surah Taha, chapter 20, verse number 25 onwards. This is the dua of Musa alayhi salam. That, O Allah, Rabbi shrah li sadri, expand my heart, wa yassir li amri, and ease my task, wahlul uqdatam min lisani, and you open my notes from my tongue, yafqahu qawli, and make my speech understanding, so that all should understand my speech. And then make Harun my wazir. His dua was accepted, and Musa alayhi salam proceeded, and he did his tabligh. Now the topic for tonight's short lecture was the conversations and the discourses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Musa in Mount Sinai, in Koh Tur. What were the discourses and what were the conversations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with Musa alayhi salam in Koh Tur? We all know that Musa alayhi salam was called Kalimullah, which means the one who converses with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in history there are so many conversations which are recorded that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala conversed with Kalimullah, with Musa alayhi salam. So many conversations. Like one of them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala conversed with Musa, that Ajibtu liman aikana bil maut kayfa yafrah. I'm amazed, O Musa, on a person that he is happy while he is certain for death. He's certain of death. He is certain of death, but still he's happy. Ajibtu liman aikana bil maut kayfa yafrah. Ajibtu liman aikana bil hisab kayfa yudhnib. I'm astonished on a person that he is certain of hisab, but yet he sins. Ajibtu liman aikana. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Musa, Ajibtu liman aikana bil qadr kayfa yahzun. It is amazing that this person, I'm amazed on that person, that he is certain for qadr, he is certain of destiny and decree, but yet he is saddened and grieved. What you got, it's yours. It was decreed and destined. What you didn't get, it was not destined and it was not decreed. أجبت لمن يرى التقلب الدنيا بأهلها كيف يطمئن إليها. I'm amazed on that person that he can see Allah talks to Musa alayhi salam in Kohetur. That أجبت لمن يرى التقلب الدنيا بأهلها كيف يطمئن إليها. I'm amazed on that person that he can see the world changes its face, but yet he is satisfied with the same world. That the world is changing its face, and it's extremely true, it's very true, that the world changes its face, but yet the same person is satisfied with the world. Once Musa said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Kohetur, that, "Oh Allah, these Bani Israel, they are talking of me. They are gossiping." Allah said to Musa that, "Oh Musa, do not tell me about gossiping. Wherever you are, you try your best in any community, you won't be able to be in good records, in everybody's good records. There will be a person, he will keep you in bad records." Allah said to Musa. That is why in Lucknow, there used to be Nawab. Nawab. Who are those Nawab? Nawab, they would not work. They would not earn anything for their livelihood. Nawab. They would go to people's shops. They would pass time. They didn't have any money, but yet they would wear nice clothes, and they would like to live in a very good manner, very nicely, in a posh area. They would have posh houses, posh means of transport. They were called Nawab. Now, once in Lucknow, this Nawab's sword was stolen. A delegation came to visit this particular Nawab, whose sword was stolen. When they came to visit Nawab, and the whole delegation, they showed their concern, that they were grieved, they were saddened. So they came and they said that, "We have come to console you. By the way, where did you keep this sword of yours that it was stolen? Because it came to you through your father. So it should be a valuable sword of yours. Where do you keep this sword?" He said, "What shall I tell you?" Nawab is saying to the delegation, it was hanging on top of the wall. It was just hanging on the wall in front of me, but yet it got stolen. The delegation said, "Nawab, why did you do so? You should never keep in front of the wall. Why did you hang it on the wall? If a robber comes and if he wants to steal, if he sees the precious sword and he stole because it was in front of him, you would have not kept in front of the wall." Second day, the second delegation came to show their concern, to console Nawab, that, "Oh Nawab, we have come to console you. By the way, where did you keep your sword?" Nawab thought that if I tell them the same thing, that it was hanging on the wall, they will tell me the same things. So this time he changed his statement. He said, "You know what? I kept my sword in the treasure chest. It was in the treasure chest." And the delegation says, "Oh Nawab, which kind of akal is this? Why did you keep in a treasure chest? Don't you know that when a thief comes in, the first thing which he will look for is a treasure chest? He will look for a tijori. You kept in a tijori, that is why it got stolen." Third day, another delegation came. They came to console Nawab. "By the way, Nawab," this is the third delegation, "where did you keep your sword that it got stolen?" Now he says that now I should give them different statement. He says that I kept underneath my mattress. And the delegation says, "Oh Nawab, you are not using your akal. You would have not kept underneath your mattress. Because many people, they hide their precious things and valuables underneath their mattress." So Nawab, at the end, he thought that whatever I say, these people of the world, they are going to speak of you. Anyway, Allah said to Musa the same thing, that whatever you do, you can't shut their mouths. They are going to speak. In any case, you won't be able to satisfy each and every person of the community, O Musa. Even if they gossip about you, the whole community of Bani Israel, you won't be able to please them, each and every person. If Rasulullah could not please each and every person, then who are we? It is very true. This is a good example which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets to Musa, that, O Musa, you won't be able to please each and every person. Ek durud bheje Muhammad aur aale Muhammad par. بہت سی کنورسیشنز ہے جو اللہ سبحانہ و تعالی نے کنورس کیا ہے موسیٰ کے ساتھ, اور موسیٰ یہ لقب پا گئے کلیم اللہ, یعنی جو اللہ کے ساتھ تکلم کرتے ہیں. اسی لیے تو موسیٰ کے بارے میں کہا گیا کہ موسیٰ علیہ السلام کلیم اللہ ہے. ایک مرتبہ جب موسیٰ کوہ طور پہ آئے تو موسیٰ نے کیا مشاہدہ کیا؟ جب موسیٰ نے اللہ کو پکارا تو اللہ سے یہ کہا کہ یا اللہ, تو اللہ نے جواب دیا لبیک یا موسیٰ. باتیں کیا کرتے تھے نا اللہ سے. پھر دوسری مرتبہ موسیٰ نے خدا سے کہا کہ یا رحمان, پالنے والے نے کہا لبیک یا موسیٰ. پھر موسیٰ نے کہا یا رحیم, خدا نے کہا لبیک یا موسیٰ. لیکن جب موسیٰ نے کہا یا الہ الآسین, یعنی اے گنہگاروں کا رب, اے گنہگاروں کا خدا, یا الہ الآسین, تو تاریخ بتلاتی ہے کہ خداوند کریم کی ندائے غیبی ایک ندا آئی کہ لبیک 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 یا موسیٰ. تو موسیٰ کو تعجب ہوا, موسیٰ کو حیرت ہوئی. موسیٰ نے سوال کیا کہ پالنے والے, جب میں نے کہا یا اللہ تو تم نے ایک مرتبہ کہا لبیک یا موسیٰ, جب میں نے کہا یا رحمان تو تم نے ایک مرتبہ جواب میں کہا لبیک یا موسیٰ, جب کہا رحیم تم نے ایک مرتبہ جواب دیا لبیک یا موسیٰ, لیکن جب میں نے کہا یا الہ الآسین تو تم نے 3 مرتبہ کہا لبیک 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 یا موسیٰ. وجہ کیا ہے, علت کیا ہے؟ تو خدا نے کہا کہ اے موسیٰ, خدا کہتا ہے اے موسیٰ, ہر عابد کا سرمایہ ان کی عبادت پر ہے. ہر عابد وہ ریلائی کرتا ہے, تکیہ دیتا ہے اپنی عبادت پر. ہر زاہد اپنے زہد پر. ایک میرے گنہگار بندے ہیں جن کے پاس کچھ نہیں ہے, وہ میرے پر تکیہ کرتے ہیں, وہ میرے پر ریلائی کرتے ہیں. اسی لیے میں ان کے پاس کچھ نہیں ہے, فقط میری ذات ہے. اسی لیے میں نے 3 مرتبہ کہا لبیک 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 یا موسیٰ. یعنی اس واقعے سے پتا چلتا ہے کہ کبھی بھی ڈسپیئر مت ہونا, نا امید مت بننا. خدا یہ سمجھانا چاہتا ہے موسیٰ کو کہ کبھی بھی نا امید مت بننا. نا امیدی گناہ کبیرہ میں سے ہے. لا تقنطوا من رحمت اللہ ان اللہ یغفر الذنوب جمیعا. کبھی بھی اللہ کی رحمت سے نا امید مت ہونا, اللہ تمہارے سب گناہوں کو معاف کرے گا. اور کہتے بھی یہ ہے کہ موسیٰ ایک مرتبہ جب کوہ طور پہ تھے تو خداوند کریم نے موسیٰ سے کہا کہ اے موسیٰ تم آگے کوہ طور پہ, موسیٰ کلیم اللہ آپ آگے کوہ طور پہ, لیکن میں نے تمہاری ماں کو اٹھا لیا. تم تو کوہ طور پہ ہو اور میں نے تمہاری ماں کو اٹھا لیا. یہ سننا تھا کہ موسیٰ نے گریہ کیا, خوب روئے. خدا نے کیا کہا؟ کہا موسیٰ رو, خوب رو, تمہیں رونے کا حق ہے کیونکہ تمہاری ماں تھی, تمہیں رونے کا حق ہے. یہ کہا گیا موسیٰ سے. اور ہم نے اب انگریزی میں یہ بھی بیان کیا تھا نا آپ کی خدمت میں کہ موسیٰ کی ماں سے کہا گیا کہ تم اپنے اس فرزند کو صندوق میں ڈالو, تابوت میں ڈالو, تاکہ یہ بچہ میرے دشمن کے پاس جائے گا اور اس بچے کے دشمن کے پاس جائے گا. پھر سورہ طٰہٰ میں چیپٹر 20 ورس 39 onwards خدا کہتا ہے کہ پھر میں موسیٰ کو پلٹاؤں گا تمہارے پاس. یعنی کیا؟ مفسرین کہتے ہیں پلٹاؤں گا یعنی کہ اے موسیٰ, یعنی یہ موسیٰ جو چھوٹا موسیٰ جو ہے یہ کسی کو قبول نہیں کرے گا. فرعون بہت سی عورتیں کو لائے گا تاکہ ان کو دودھ پلائے, لیکن وہ چھوٹی بہن جو موسیٰ کی تھی وہ اس نے کہا کہ ایک عورت کو میں جانتی ہوں کہ وہ دودھ پلا سکتی ہے اس بچے کو. پھر موسیٰ کی ماں کو بلایا گیا پھر موسیٰ کی ماں نے اس بچے کو دودھ پلایا، یعنی خود کی ماں تھی، حقیقی ماں تھی، لیکن اس نے موسیٰ کو دودھ پلایا۔ اس طریقے سے مفسرین کہتے ہیں کہ خدا نے کہا کہ میں موسیٰ کو پلٹاؤں گا، جب خدا نے الہام دیا موسیٰ کو کہ موسیٰ کو تمہارے پاس پلٹاؤں گا، یہ تو موسیٰ کی بات تھی کہ موسیٰ کی ماں سے کہا گیا کہ تمہارے موسیٰ کو پلٹاؤں گا، لیکن جو مائیں کربلا میں تھی ان سے تو نہیں کہا گیا کہ تمہارے بچے کو ہم تمہارے پاس پلٹائیں گے۔ رباب سے تو یہ نہیں کہا گیا تھا کہ تمہارے علی اصغر کو ہم پلٹائیں گے۔ افسوس، بلکہ یہاں پہ تو شہید کیے گئے علی اصغر۔ اس کے بعد میرے مولا نے کیا کہا؟ میرے مولا نے کہا کہ علی اصغر کو میں خود دفناؤں گا۔ روز عاشورہ میرے مولا نے خیمے کے پشت میں علی اصغر کو دفنایا۔ کیوں دفنایا؟ کیونکہ مولا جانتے تھے کہ میری شہادت کے بعد سب شہداء کے سروں کو نیزے پہ رکھا جائے گا اور دیار بدیار پھرایا جائے گا۔ میں نہیں چاہتا کہ علی اصغر کے سر کی بے حرمتی کی جائے، لہٰذا علی اصغر کے بدن کو پشت خیمہ میں دفناؤں گا۔ عزادارو، علی اصغر کے لاشے کو تو پشت خیمے میں دفنایا گیا، لیکن جب شام غریبہ آئی عمر سعد نے حکم دیا کہ سب شہداء کے سر نوکے نیزہ پہ۔ حسین ایک چھوٹے بچے کو بھی لائے تھے، وہ چھوٹے بچے کا سر تو نہیں دکھتا۔ ایک مرتبہ عمر سعد نے حکم دیا کہ خیمے کے آس پاس میں ان کے ارد گرد میں سرزمین کربلا میں نیزے کے ذریعے سے چوبا جائے، علی اصغر کو زمین سے، ان کی قبر سے ان کے بدن کو نکالا جائے۔ علی اصغر کے بدن کو نکالا گیا، سر تن سے جدا کیا گیا، اس چھوٹے سے سر کو نوکے نیزہ پہ رکھا گیا اور دیار بدیار پھرایا گیا۔ رباب کربلا سے کوفہ، کوفہ سے شام اپنے اس چھوٹے سے فرزند کے سر کو دیکھتی رہی اور اپنے زخموں کو تازہ کرتی رہی۔ الا لعنۃ اللہ علی القوم الظالمین وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون انا للہ وانا الیہ راجعون رضا بقضائہ وتسلیما لامرہ۔ جن مرحومین کے لیے یہ مجلس منعقد کی گئی ہے ان مرحومین کے لیے سورہ فاتحہ پڑھنے کی گزارش ہے۔ الفاتحہ۔